This podcast absolutely, unequivocally, positively, 100% contains adult material. Mature audiences only, please.
Hey, welcome back to Me and Mrs. Always Right. I am your host, me.
And I'm Mrs. Always Right.
And we're still at that little trailer park in Denver, Colorado, bringing you part 2 of the True Crime and Paranormal podcast interviews that Rocat Media conducted. So how do you think it's going so far?
I think it's going wonderfully. I think you're doing an excellent job. You're asking very, very good questions. You know, you're really getting involved. I almost feel you could be like a newscaster or something.
I don't know if I'd go out on that kind of limb.
Oh, okay.
But I want to give these podcasters the kind of attention I feel they deserve. We're all out here working, trying to make a buck. And we spend an arm and a leg doing this. Some of us do. Some of us, don't. But when your co-host is as OCD as your co-host is, you want great video quality, great audio quality. And it was worth the investment for me.
Yes. Yes.
So
and you've done a great job.
I really appreciate that. So I just want to give these creators the time and attention they deserve. And, maybe we can turn on some of our listeners to some of these new. And if you go and listen to them, leave them a review, tell them who sent you. Me and Mrs. Always Right. Okay.
Yep. I think that would be great.
We're going to bring you the next interview, which was through people we met last year in Austin.
Yes. We did.
This is a good group of people. They're funny. They have 3 different podcasts, which you're going to see in the interview. But without further ado, we're going to bring you that interview.
Hey, it's Brittany from Where the Weird Things Are podcast here. And then we have Christopher, Jenna, Heather, and Thurlow. We all do the podcast because we have to be extra about everything. So, sorry.
What's the podcast about?
We do true crime. She does true crime. He does history. Jenna does paranormal. And Chris down there does lore.
Awesome. Where can they find your podcast at?
You want to answer that?
Yeah, we're pretty much on all podcasting platforms. And then if you look for us at WWTA Pod on Instagram, and then Where the Weird Things Are on Facebook. That's where we're at on socials.
Yeah, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Pods, all the shit.
Yep.
About a Patreon, anything like that?
Not yet. We're working on it. Yes. We're doing that soon. We were doing this for
2025.
fun. Yes.
Start saving now.
Yes.
It's coming.
One episode for people who are just going to tune into your podcast.
Oh.
Which episode would that be?
Oh, shit.
What's your favorite episode?
We'll have to go in.
I think I really like our one, the when we did Amityville.
Oh,
that one was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. He always likes missing flights. That's our first episode. Don't do that one. We were still getting our footing,
Everybody's first episode is always their worst.
It's
yes,
always
but
rough.
he always recommends it. And I'm like, shut up. That's not the one. What's your favorite, the history? You have a favorite history one that we do?
I really enjoyed the recent one you guys did on the action park.
Action
that
Park,
theme
yeah.
That was really good.
That was a good one.
My favorite paranormal ones are more recently when we did doppelgangers, and then for if you want something a little more spooky, when we covered shadow people in the Hat Man.
Oh yeah, that's a creepy one. Do you have a favorite lore?
Lore, I think Dracula's still my favorite one, but Rumpelstiltskin, we had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
so that one was pretty amusing.
Yeah.
Also, well, I appreciate you.
Do you have a favorite true crime one?
True crime.
What was it? The buy one get one? The Confessions?
Oh, the
False Confessions? Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
And then Heather does Ohio 88.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to tell us about Ohio 88? You want to go? Well, we would go down to your table. Scooch over. Come down to your table?
Sure. Hi, I'm Heather Wright. I host a true crime podcast called Ohio 88, where we talk about the most notorious criminals from Ohio's 88 counties. And it can include murders, burglars, everything. And then on our Patreon, we do talk about the county, the coolest things in the county, the awesome places, best pizza, all of it.
So can you tell us why Ohio's serial killers are better and more notorious than any other serial killers in the United States?
Well, that's not really what we're saying. It's not just killers. So we have con artists, burglars, football players who, gamble too much, just all kinds of stuff. It's the whole realm, I guess, of true crime.
That's pretty cool. Where can we find your podcast at?
Everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We do have a QR code. Ohio88podcast.com. You can find everything there.
Anywhere the people can support you, Patreon, anything like
Patreon, yep.
that? Go ahead.
Patreon.com/Ohio88.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And one episode anybody should tune into. Do you have a favorite?
Charles Manson. It's a
Charles
six-parter.
Manson.
He's from Cincinnati.
What? No
Yes.
kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Heather, I've listened to your podcast and you do a great job. So
Thank you.
I hope everybody else tunes in and checks it out.
Thank
and
you.
now we're going to move on to another one you do, right? Nature versus narcissism.
Yes.
So I need you to start over and act like we never talked before.
Oh, I've never seen you before.
All right.
Hi, I'm Heather Wright with Nature versus Narcissism.
I'm Brittany.
And
I'm Kara.
Nature versus Narcissism is a true crime podcast. Dark humor, very dark humor.
Yes.
We talk about serial killers, regular killers, poisoners, basically everything.
I swear some of the most fucked up cases that I'm
so
not
sorry.
here for ever.
I'm so sorry.
She makes me do it. I hate it. She's like, we're going to cover this. And I'm like, oh, I'm sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It started back in 2017 and it's just kind of grown and changed along the way because I get really bored with things. So I keep changing the theme and stuff like that.
I do think, and I don't know if they can hear me because you have my mics. I do think this is your most colorful podcast in the merchandise line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my baby. It's the first one and I'll never give it up.
Yeah.
That's pretty
We
cool.
met because of this podcast.
We actually did.
Yeah.
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 Is she like that?
Yeah, sorry. She did.
What do I say?
Well, this is,
It's your interview. Say whatever you want.
she helped with our Halloween series.
Yeah,
And our
I mean,
Lady Killers.
I met Heather a few years ago and she told me about her podcast and was like, if you want to help me do a few episodes, I was like, sure, why not? So I don't know. I've helped her with a few. And
Ever since, right?
yeah, I mean, honestly, I've never listened to it. I don't even listen to podcasts.
She didn't even
Yeah.
know like how to find them. Yeah.
So then my question would have to default to these two. Give me one of your best episodes.
Ooh, somebody just asked me that.
Oh. But that was for Ohio 88.
No, they asked me for this one too, and I got stuck because I'm like, I don't know.
So
There's so many.
All right.
No, because there's too many that I like.
Okay, let's do this. Who is the biggest narcissist outside of me? that you know?
Ooh. Besides Eileen Warnos,
Besides who?
Dude, Eileen Warnos pisses me off.
we recovered her. Like I covered her in the very beginning, and then when we recovered her, we undug some truths that were very disturbing.
Yeah.
Edmund Kemper too. I used to be like, my favorite serial killer. No, fam.
That's awesome.
They were pretty good though. We do the part 1 and part 2s on some of them, so it's like you get the facts in one and then the discussion in the second one.
Yeah. Where I
Kinda
usually get
balances.
irate for one reason or another. So, yeah.
It's true.
All right, so where can we find this podcast?
Everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, all of the things.
Nature versus Narcissism has a Patreon.
We do, and we have a website, so natureversusnarcissism.com, and then patreon.com/NVN podcast ?
Got a check?
I don't remember, but I think so.
Okay.
If you go to the website, it'll be all there.
All right.
Yeah, not far off.
Thank you.
No, hey, I appreciate you guys going through all 3 podcasts, and look for this on Me and Mrs. Always Right. It'll be on YouTube. Okay, that's where we'll post
Yes,
it. All right,
thank
thank
you.
y'all. And it was a pleasure.
I'll be back.
Thank you. Love it. Bye.
Hey, we'd like to thank Brittany and Heather, Jenna, Kara, Chris, and Thursday for giving us that interview. They were great, and they were, out of all the interviews that were done, they're the ones that actually got to spend time with Kevin in Austin, and that was it's kind of a bittersweet time when you're going back and you're remembering the times you spent with people. But they've been good to us. They're great people. I wholeheartedly go and check them out. Tell them Me and Mrs. Always Right sent you.
Yes.
So we asked a question during that interview because they brought up a serial killer, right? Or not? Was she or not?
Yes.
And what was her name?
Eileen Warnos.
And I am under the impression that it was really only men that had the narcissism problem.
I mean, it's not like women.
Trademark.
then why you talk if you want me to shut up?
Just go. It's fine.
I mean, there's not a specific, let's say diabetes are just for men. You know what I mean? It's anybody can have anything. It's not.
I just thought more men than women were probably narcissists, right?
I mean, you're probably right.
You call me a narcissist, but I need you to define narcissism for me.
Do you want me to look it up right now?
I thought you knew since you call me a hypocritical narcissistic.
You are a crawfishing.
Hypocritical
narcissistic.
Narcissistic.
You're very narcissistic.
Yes. So what is narcissism?
It's where you almost feel like you're holier than thou and your shit don't stink and nobody is as good as you. That's what I'm saying. It's you. It's definitely you.
Is it?
Yes.
How is that a bad thing?
When you go overboard with it, that's what it is. When you go overboard with it.
Can you look at narcissism and confuse it for confidence? Legit question.
No, I don't think so. I think that there might be, in the beginning, there might be a lot of things that are close to being similar to it, but then the more you see them portray and, you can't do that because I said you can't because I am God, when it just.
That's nothing like me. That's nothing.
Absolutely
that is
like
nothing
you.
Like
absolutely
me.
Like you.
You're fucking crazy.
So when that happens, and it's just so grandeur about it, you're so grandeur about it, then that's narcissism, But I mean, I would have to specifically look it up.
Give me a fucking example.
Oh my God. I would specifically have to look up the definition to give you specific examples. And then I'm afraid your feelings might get hurt.
I've got time.
And, then you might be mad at me and
I'm not
want me
be
to
mad
sleep
at
on
you.
the couch or some shit. And, I'm not about it. So
I've got time.
Just, I don't have all that
You know
time.
what? You don't got time to do a good show? Is that what you're saying?
That's absolutely what I'm saying. I want everything to be shit.
Personality qualities, including thinking very highly of oneself, needing admiration, believing others are inferior, and lacking empathy for others. Okay, so let's go through this real quick, okay?
Okay, let's go through it.
Thanks, Brittany and Heather, for, we're having a self-diagnosing moment here.
No, you're having a self-diagnosing. We already all know it.
Well, do I think highly of myself? I do.
And that, that can be a good thing, but when you...
Okay, so it can be a good thing.
Yes, but when it's so grandeur with it all the time.
I don't believe I always need admiration. I don't feel.
You know what? You might not realize it because you've done it for so long.
Oh yeah.
But you want admiration when you do anything. Baby, look. It took me 20 fucking years, but I picked up that spoon that was on the floor. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Look, I may go 50-50 with you on this one. All right. Maybe. I just want you to know I care about you and I'm doing stuff for you.
Okay. Do I remind you every fucking day? Hey, look, honey, I made you something to eat.
You do.
No, I do not.
Yes. And it's when you bring the plate out to me and when I go into the closet.
But I don't.
But
I do not say, look, honey, I brought your food. I'm not digging for compliments.
Thanks.
Look, honey, but that's what you do.
Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Brittany.
I'm just saying,
thanks, Jenna.
That's what you do.
I don't believe others are inferior.
I'm so smart.
I did, but I don't say others are stupid.
I mean, not always to their face.
and lacking empathy for others. Now, this part I know is true. Okay,
that is very, very
I'm
true.
2.5 out of 4.
No,
yes,
you're 4 for 4.
I am not 4 for 4.
Oh, that sounds really good. Wendy's 4 for 4.
4 for 4.
Yeah. So yeah, no, you are 4 for 4.
Can you be a narcissist without being a serial killer?
You can be.
Okay, but are most serial killers narcissists?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. they're either, most serial killers are, I want to say, narcissist or never mind. I can't think. There's like just two things. They are this or that. That's yes.
Okay. So our next interview comes from Murder in the Rain. We actually ran into one of the co-hosts when we were, some of us, not me, are smokers, and we have to go to the smoking section. And when you and your co-host went out to the smoking section, you basically just butted this dude right off of the fucking bench.
Okay, first of all, no, she didn't even go with us, right?
Oh no,
I went with the Brittany and Heather and Thursday
that's right.
and all of those. We went out. We all went out. And this guy happened to be sitting on the bench. He was the only one on the bench. And I asked him, hey, do you mind if I sit down? I don't want to crowd him or anything like that. I thought maybe somebody else would sit down on the bench because it was definitely big enough for at least 3 people.
It was a big bench.
And
with a very straight back.
Yeah. But nobody else sat down or anything like that, but he offered his seat, which was very gentlemanly, and so he just kind of got herded into the herd that was us, and of course we're everybody's basically friendly and talks to everybody else, and
Josh is good people, man. He was very polite, and he didn't try to backhand you when you butted him off the bench or anything. I kind of respect that.
I know. I was impressed.
Probably not a narcissist.
And you know what? I have a feeling he's not. No, because he actually, you would not have gotten up to give your seat
I wouldn't.
To somebody because you know what?
Fuck, I wouldn't.
I was already sitting down. I'm older than you, so of course I get to sit here because look at me, I'm the king. So.
Wow. So with that being said, here is my interview with Murder in the Rain.
Now, before we start this, okay, now I haven't listened to these people yet, but I cannot wait to listen to them.
Yeah, same here.
I'm so looking forward to listening to them. I don't know why, but I'm just like, I want to listen.
Well, let's listen to the interview and find out.
All right.
Hello, I'm Josh from the Murder in the Rain podcast, and these are the co-hosts of Murder in the Rain, Alicia.
And I'm Emily.
Hello.
We are based out of Portland, and we focus on cases in the Pacific Northwest. So predominantly Oregon and Washington, some BC, all the way up through Alaska, a little bit of Idaho, Northern California. And we take turns hosting every Tuesday a new episode.
And we cover it all from serial killer cases you've probably heard of to more obscure cases right out of our own neighborhoods.
So are y'all single host or?
The episodes are single host, and then we discuss at the end. So we alternate. So each one of us has a different point of view, different types of cases we gravitate towards, which makes it something for everyone.
So each one of you have a different favorite episode?
They vary a lot. And one we're going to talk about tomorrow in our session it's called Unprecedented, and it's about a serial rapist in the Pacific Northwest, and 2 of the survivors of his crimes are going to be there with us talking about their case.
I can't think of a single thing on the spot. So any of the episodes that I've done, my favorite. Yeah.
They're the best ones.
I liked the train one you did.
Train robbery. I did that. I did one about The Order, which was like a white supremacist bank heisting gang in the 80s. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Am I supposed to bite this?
Okay. It's hard to think of a favorite one.
What's one?
Yeah. Oregon based, right?
Yeah, we are.
DB Cooper, man. Y'all had to have done.
She's covered him.
We were actually just talking about that the other day because we got a Google alert. And a Google alert. And so years ago I covered DB Cooper for a Thanksgiving episode that happened at Thanksgiving. And we've since moved some of the older episodes over to our YouTube, but I think Josh is going to do an updated one because someone connected to it was also murdered, and it was really bizarre. And
that was so sorry. It's okay. Hello. It was the guy who provided the parachutes for DB Cooper when they landed.
This is exciting.
Part of the ransom stuff, and then
I'm just now hearing about this.
He was murdered. He was the FBI.
He was murdered in 2013, I think. Yeah, and he was the FBI expert.
Now that is a Pacific Northwest case, infamous.
Yeah.
You mentioned a YouTube channel, so where can we find your podcast?
You can go to YouTube Murder in the Rain. We have all of our audio content over on YouTube, as well as we do true crime clips for the news to highlight missing people, unsolved cases, escaped convicts, anything to get the public, getting tips into the station.
And as far as listening, we're everywhere. Spotify,
Everywhere.
Audible, Apple.
Go to murderintherain.com/links and you can follow us wherever you listen.
I see you have a Patreon.
We sure do.
Right? They can reach out to you at Patreon.
They can.
Yeah.
/
Murder in the Rain. Yeah. So we've got all sorts of fun stuff going on. And we've got, for those that are interested, and over in the Oregon area, the True Crime Fest Northwest is coming to town Labor Day weekend. Several people that are here are going to be there. We're going to have, don't know if you're familiar with the Kyron Horman case, the young boy that went missing 14 years ago. His mom's going to be there. She's very vocal and works with police and training and stuff locally. Finley Creek Jane Doe is going to be there. We've got a lot of awesome
Several true crime authors.
the United Justice Group. So you may have heard of Jesse Calhoun, the accused serial killer in Portland.
Very accused.
Super accused, like indicted accused.
Well, that would be the epitome of accused.
Yes.
We're still waiting on more victims to be connected.
Yeah, so those family members have actually created United Justice Group. So they're going to be there talking about what they can share. They're bringing A&E because they're doing their own thing. So it's going to be really great.
It's going to be a great
We're building our own little community because, like someone told us at CrimeCon in Orlando, the Northwest is kind of like the Florida of up there. And we were defensive at first, and then we were like,
it is.
Actually, yeah.
Well,
it's true.
Right? I mean,
well, did you see our special edition shirts for this weekend?
Yes, that's awesome.
And some of the crimes are very Floridian in a way.
There aren't any alligators, though, oddly enough.
Well, I appreciate you taking 5 minutes.
Yeah,
of your time.
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was very nice to meet you. Thank you.
So I actually enjoy watching Josh on camera.
I know.
He's funny.
He's
great.
hilarious.
Yes.
He is hilarious, and I can't wait to listen to him.
And Ashley and Emily, you're funny, and you did a great interview. But it was just our interaction with Josh outside of, being in the gallery. That was great, and he's a great guy. And I'm with you. I cannot wait. I think I'm gonna find some time and get an episode of theirs in.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of these people that you interview, I'm like really looking forward to listening, and some of them I've listened to, but I'm gonna give them all a chance, and I'm gonna listen to all of them, and because I like true crime.
You do like true crime.
It's human nature. Everybody's just. I feel most people, I would say at least 98% of the population
Are narcissists?
No.
No? Oh, I'm still on that.
I see you got your feelings hurt. This is why I don't tell you things that everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows, but I don't tell you.
My feelings aren't hurt. I think I'm more hurt at the hypocritical part, not the narcissist part.
You admit you're hypocritical too.
I'm hypocritical as
You're
fuck.
very hypocritical.
I am definitely a do as I say, not as I do person.
Absolutely.
That's how I raised my kids.
Yes, and you are a crawfisher.
I am not a crawfisher.
When it comes to betting, you crawfish.
We're gonna open episode 3, so this is gonna be a cliffhanger on why she calls me a crawfisher. But we're gonna get to the next interview, and then we're gonna end part 2 of this episode. Okay. So the next interview we did was from Beyond the Case. And out of all the interviews I did, most of us are amateur podcasters. And I think everybody did great interviews. Go ahead.
I was going to say not just amateur podcasters, but amateur speakers.
Yes.
That's what it is. We don't, we're not used to being on camera and speaking and, giving interviews and stuff like that. But, occasionally you come across people who are very used to that. It's almost like second nature to them, like they've done it before.
Or like they've been trained in it. So our next interview is with Beyond the Case and Crystal Gutierrez, and you can definitely tell she has had time in front of a camera. This woman speaks so good, and does such a great interview. And I'm truly kind of interested in the work she's putting out too. So here is Crystal with Beyond the Case.
Hey everyone, I'm Crystal Gutierrez, the host of Beyond the Case.
I'm Zoe Sanchez. I am the social media and event coordinator with Beyond the Case.
And you can find our amazing show at Crystal Gutierrez TV. That's on YouTube. So what we do is we reinvestigate missing persons cases, myself along with the private investigator who's a retired detective out of New Mexico. We start with the documents, then we re-interview witnesses, persons of interest, suspects, family members of the missing. We even take you to the scene where they were last located, or last seen, I should say. And we really give you every theory that police have looked into, but we also look into our own theories and try to gather enough probable cause for law enforcement. Sometimes some of the cases, it's very obvious who did possibly cause harm to some of the people we're looking for.
Yeah, and we really want you to be the third detective in our cases. So definitely watch our episodes, see if there's anything that maybe we missed, and come check us out.
Absolutely.
Wow, y'all are definitely more professional than I am. That is great. So you're on YouTube?
Yes.
YouTube.tv, Patreon or anything that people can follow?
Not Patreon, just YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out our socials.
By the way?
So the biggest case that we've been actually investigating is the Antoinette Caidito case. It's a 9-year-old girl who went missing from Gallup, New Mexico. We are the first ones and the only ones really to expose the confession by the mom. She did pass, so there's nothing they can move forward with on that. However, in the case file, we did release many more names than you've ever heard before. For so long, the case of Antoinette has really been focused on a grieving mother. But when you really dive into the case and you interview the families and you want to do a thorough job, you find out that it was likely the mom who was speaking with 2 men, at least one in particular that we're looking for, that led to her disappearance.
Wow, I look forward to listening to it. That's pretty cool. Thank y'all very much.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah.
So can you tell how well she speaks? Like she's been on camera before?
Maybe she's been on camera for so many years doing this and then so many years doing that. And she's very fluid. Very. Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe it's time we hire a social media marketer.
What are we going to hire them with? Beer?
I
don't even really have groceries, so I don't know how
social media marketing and you'll work for beer. Call us.
Hey, there you go. We are looking for you specifically.
So, Crystal, man, that was a great interview, and I appreciate you being part of the show and letting me talk to you. With that being said, we're going to end part 2 right here. So, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at meandmrsalwaysright@gmail.com. All complaints go to Trevor the intern.
See, Trevor the intern, we pay him with beer and he's still here.
We pay that motherfucker with nothing.
You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.
And help support this podcast by becoming a member of Patreon at patreon.com/meandmrsalwaysright. There, you'll get pre and post show content right along with unedited episodes. And we'd like to thank Roadcat Media for producing this week's episode. If you have any audio or video editing needs, reach out to them at roadcatmedia@gmail.com.
Nice.
All right, babe. I love you. And it's almost like you don't change your shirt for different episodes.
I know. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
All right. I love you, baby.
All right. I love you too, honey.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Merle.
Oh, I love Merle. It's funny. Merle.
I
love Merle.
I love Merle.
Yeah.